Hmm. Really interesting about, about her taking a stand, but we'll see. We'll see. February 10th, year 322. Back to Hell. The Pale Bride. Dear Diary, this sounds so pathetic to say. I've tried rewriting this a million times just to make it sound less pathetic for me, and I simply cannot. There were two things that made life worthwhile. Two things that made this last year before I die be bearable. The first was Jai Hao's company, being the one person that was friendly to me. The second is sharing a bed with my husband. For the past few months, that's what I've been saving all my energy for. The brief, precious half hour? Every few nights where I feel fulfilled, if only in the most literal sense. It is the most lovely feeling, and now I'll never feel it again. The two things making my last year of life worth living gone forever. The past few nights I've been trying to get the Emperor's attention in that way, pleading silently for his affection, with no luck. On the fourth, or was it fifth, day, he finally took me aside and said painfully annoyance in his voice, "Enough, stop that. It is completely inappropriate. You're supposed to be in mourning. Show some damn chastity. Or do you have no respect for my wife and your queen at all?" Ah, they have like a 3-year mourning, huh? He snapped. When I looked confused, he just lectured me. When I cried, he sighed. He held me tightly, then left the room. I haven't spoken to him since. But later that day, my servant came to my room with good news, quote-unquote good news. I was to go to visit my family for a couple months while the house is in mourning for Jai Hua. I couldn't argue, of course, even if I was able, so just like that, I was sent back to hell. I was dressed in the usual veil, so nobody would see my face, so I was escorted back to the Kim house in the middle of the night. Oh, this is seven pages, huh? Mother and father were there, briefly, to greet me, and in spite of how I felt about them, I put on my bravest smile and bowed, and nodded politely to their questions about how I was doing. Then they had to go to bed, and left, leaving me alone with sister, Young-suk. Young-suk was nowhere to be seen. "Hi," she said. "I never thought you'd end up visiting us again so soon." I shrugged. "Well, let's have some tea. It is just us still around," she said. I nodded. It seemed like a good enough idea. There was a pause. "Well, go make it." She snapped, removing any doubt that she might treat me with any sort of friendliness. Of course, I made the tea. I don't disobey her anymore. "Thanks," she said. "So, Young-suk is out, attending to official business at the moment, but you should avoid him. He's still angry at you because father-in-law finds you more important to the family than his own son. Can you blame him?" I had no idea what she was talking about, and she just continued. "So, you really shouldn't talk to him." "Oh, I guess you can't really do that, can you?" "Aha, well, you know what I mean." Yes, I exactly know what she meant. Dude, they cut off her tongue. They cut off her tongue, 100%. I'm surprised you were back so soon, though. Especially now that you don't have to share your husband. Does that mean you're the primary wife now? I didn't know. Does that make you a queen? Oh, what great fortune you have. Father-in-law must be so proud of you. I stared at her, wishing nothing more than to be able to kill her through sheer force of rage. How could she possibly say something so awful? My only friend was dead, and here she was taunting me. What an awful thing to do, but I couldn't hate her. I couldn't hate her to death, no matter how much I tried. So instead, I tried holding back angry tears to hide my weakness. I couldn't do that either. Just please, keep reading. I'll kill them all. March 3rd, year 322. Dear Diary, I was too feverish to do any real cooking, so my servant was doing all the work for me that night. When father came in, I think he was drunk, or maybe just tired, or stupid. You know, child, he said to me, you grew up to be a wonderful daughter. I was shocked to hear him say that, and waved my servant out of the kitchen. I'd never heard even the slightest indication of that before. For the briefest moment, even made me happy to hear that. That surprised me that I actually felt that way as a kid. I never would have wanted his approval. So why now? 8 pages? Something horrible is gonna happen. He continued to make me wonder when he asked, do you remember what you were like as a child? I nodded, but I wasn't certain. I did. You were so temperamental. You argued all the time. You didn't want to get married when the time came. You just didn't ever know your place, you know? That's right, I didn't. That was back when I thought there was a point of being defiant. Why was that, I wondered. Damn, she's broken, huh? She's been broken. That's the part that amazes me now. I tried to think of a reason why I might want to be defiant, why I valued independence. And at first I couldn't even think of anything. I had forgotten entirely. Don't tell me, young Suk, but it really scared me. You were always... Don't tell young Suk, but it really scared me. You were always the family's best hope for prosperity. But that attitude of yours, I thought I'd never manage to disavow you of those crazy uncivilized ideas of yours. He said while I tried to think of what they were. There were times I thought it was a mistake to have hatched you. But you came through, you really did. I know it must have been painful, but I'm proud of you. Then he patted me on the head. You turned out to be a good girl. That's all I wanted to say. It was hard raising you to be a proper woman, but you've turned out to be perfect. Thank you, he said. I stared speechless, and I tried to remember what crazy uncivilized ideas was he talking about, thinking back to those days, or back to before I was frozen. I tried to remember. I had dreams of what adulthood would be, but there were so unimaginably different from what the reality turned out to be that they seemed impossible, completely impossible, nothing more than childhood fantasies without a shred of realism to them. I tried to think of what they were, to imagine them. In those dreams, I was strong, independent, and I wasn't just a wife in those dreams. I had a job. Working as the ship's engineer, following in the footsteps of my father, my real father. I wasn't married in those dreams. I was happy just to go on dates with boys my age in the ship's plaza and fall in love before making any commitments. I dreamed of being free. The more I thought about it, the more I was certain. That's what those dreams were about. That's what I wanted. But father, Kim Jong-soo, rather, had sure to disavow me notions. I learned to stop arguing and stop trying to fight, to stop dreaming of those things. In other words, I learned how to be a proper woman. And he was proud of that, proud of destroying my dreams. And now I would die under the house of the man, silenced, broken, hopeless, and unloved. I was overwhelmed by the strongest feeling I had ever felt in my life. The pity, the deepest bitterness, the most powerful resentment I could imagine. I looked at the knife near my hand and wondered, could I kill him before I died? Could I at least have justice? I tried to lift the knife. My hand twitched and it was too hard to keep a grip. I was just too weak. I'd never be able to do it. He smiled at me and said, sorry, please go ahead and keep cooking. I won't distract you more. Then just as he was about to go out the door, he added, take care of yourself. At that moment, I vowed that I wouldn't worry anymore about all these people who had hurt me. I'd take care of myself. I couldn't stab him to death. I was too weak for that. But then I remembered there were other ways. If I disable life support, I can kill him. And all of the others too. It'll be quick. It'll be easy. And not a one of them don't deserve it. You're a mass murderer. You're a mass murderer. Even though you had a shitty life, you're still a mass murderer. All I need is to disable it as the admin password. It's perfect. It was enabled though. It was enabled. Well, so. There you are then. How did you upload your consciousness into an AI form though? Now you know. It is true. I did do what she said I did. I am not going to lie. I really wish you'd never met her. I wish she'd never said anything to you. I just thought it was so nice the way things were with us before. Things started out so well. I got to be cheery for the first time in my life since I was a child. Talking about actual romantic things together. Having fun with cosplay. And just, you know, having someone there to talk to. Someone who wasn't interested in shutting me up. But now, well, please, you've read my diary. You have to know it's not... I didn't. You have to understand, right? Even if you think what I did was wrong, look, I've never really been dishonest with you. Fine, I lied about being an AI. I told you... But I told you the truth. I could have deceived... I lied about being an AI, but I told you the truth. I could have deceived you, but didn't. She lied to me about her being an AI? Like, I think it's probably the first time we talked, I believe. Like, as she wasn't the pale bride. Like, she didn't reveal that until later. Please, you still trust me, right? I never really lied to you. Not seriously. You don't have to think what I did was acceptable, but please, tell me you trust me. I do. You do? Really? Oh my word. I mean, of course, I am so sorry. I should have had faith in you. I really should have. I'm really bad at this. But thank you. Thank you so much. I can't believe I even doubted you for a second. Look, that means a lot to me. It means so much. I mean, I'm sure what I did wasn't right. I know I am sure you don't think it was. I just want you to understand, alright? Skipped again, by the way. For someone as good as For someone as good to me as you've been, I want you to at least please understand. You don't have to forgive me. Just hear me out. Just hear me out? Of course. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're a really good person. Much better than me. Thank you. Then, very well. It's probably just better if I show you. There's a data block that contains all the logs that matter. But my family encrypted it because, well, it should be obvious why after you read it. You need to drop to the terminal and type decrypt block 7. Let me know once you've done that and I'll show you. Decrypt block 7. I have probably 1 hour. Sorry viewers, I'm talking to myself. I have still some time to play. Let me just see the blocks. There's 1, 2. What's missing is 7. 7 and 8. 7 and 8 are missing. And 1, of course. Block 1. Decrypt block 7. We'll have to do that. Maybe I need to save, right? 72. Block successfully decrypted. Can I decrypt block 7, 8, and 1? I think I can. I can, but I'm not gonna do that right now. Very well. These are really hard for me to read. I haven't seen mine since I wrote them, and I haven't seen my family's, well, ever. Well, I think I've found. Here. I've added some. Just please read them. If you want to know the whole story, those entries will explain. No music? Spooky. The nightmarish bride. Huming Jung. Mother. The pale bride. The new anxiety. Yun Suk's wife. Peace at last. Human Jung. The Nightmarish Bride. Let's read this. The Nightmarish Bride. Human Jung. February 7th year. 320. Seems that in the year I spent visiting my parents, everything has gone to hell. You know what? I want to see if I can bring back core 1 is 5, so 5. You know what? I could have copied mute and then copied her back, but I think I messed up here. I could copy mute, copy her back, but I think I messed up that chance, I think. Main computer, I can disable that. Communication radio, I cannot disable that, so So 11, 12, and 19. Sixteen. Main computer close, main function. I cannot, I don't think there's can I enable insufficient power to enable subsystem. Try disabling some others. Secondary battery. Switch battery. Enable, disable. I did save, right? I think I did save, yeah. Disable core 2. Invalid action. What? Power control? Able. Core 2. This core has AI stored on it on volatile media. All data will degrade within 24 hours or less. Yes. Power control. Enable core 1. Enable AI mute. Enable AI. Enable AI. Enable AI. An unknown switching error. Unable to initialize. I think I hosed myself, if that's the case, because now it's there's something wrong. Okay, power control, disable core 1. Yes. Power control, enable core 2, enable AI, enable AI Hyun. I think I took too long, huh? Just please read them. If you want to explain the whole story, those entries will explain. I'm gonna be safe for now. I'm gonna load because you know, in disabling her, I think time. I'm afraid that I did something that I shouldn't. You know, at least I don't wanna screw this playthrough. Or this path, I mean, with her. So I'm gonna keep it like as I didn't even try to disable her. Even though it was worth copying mute back then. No matter. Hopefully, I'll probably do that in another playthrough. Access the log. What was it? It was in black. We haven't excuse me. We haven't decrypted the. She's gonna tell me to decrypt. Yep.